Everyone aspires to have a comfortable life and to lead a fulfilling life. And this dream is the desire to have all of your basic needs met as well as valuable possessions. Having your ideal home, car, or job are a few examples. When you accomplish all of these things, you feel a sense of accomplishment, and having your own home is a big part of that. There are a few things you should think about before deciding that you want to buy a home. Although owning a home is a wonderful accomplishment, it does not necessarily represent the best choice. The best choice may occasionally be to rent, and I'll share 5 of them with you in this video. But before we get deeper, if you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. So, without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. You can avoid agent fees. When deciding whether or not you want to become a homeowner, agent fees are the first cost you need to take into account. In some countries, the cost of your buying agent's services may be included in the cost of purchasing a home. These expenses are typically added to the price of the home as an additional percentage of its value. The buyer does not always cover this cost, though. I paid no real estate commissions at all when I purchased my house. However, there is a catch. You see, after you purchase a home, you will almost certainly decide to sell it at some point, at which point you will be responsible for paying the selling agent's commissions. When you decide to sell your house, you'll need a real estate agent to market it and find potential buyers on your behalf. This commission fee occasionally reaches a maximum of 6%. This might seem like a small sum, but it has a significant impact on your overall earnings. For instance, if your home is worth $500,000, you would pay your agent $30,000, which might make up a sizable portion of the down payment on your subsequent home. Typically, renting a place is easier. All the rental properties in a specific area can be found with a quick online search. Additionally, you typically have the opportunity to speak with the property's owner, who is also the landlord. By doing this, you avoid paying the agent fee that would otherwise be required if you decided to buy. It is preferable to rent a home to avoid these additional costs for this reason. Number 2. Renting avoids debt. The second benefit of renting over owning is the ability to avoid incurring debt in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. You see, the majority of people are unable to pay for a home in full with cash, so they must borrow money from the bank. The total amount of mortgage debt owed each year across the globe is trillions of dollars. But if you choose to rent instead, you can avoid increasing this sum. Purchasing a new house is typically too expensive. Therefore, the majority of people think about purchasing with a mortgage loan. This is how it works. You pay a portion of the property's total cost upfront, and the remaining amount is paid back with a loan. Although, it seems like a fair deal. Is it one? Most new homes cost an average of $500,000. But it's assumed that you obtain a mortgage that permits you to pay only 10% upfront, necessitating a $50,000 down payment. Although it is a small portion of the total cost, it will take the average person several years to save up this sum. In this situation, purchasing a home necessitates using up all of your savings. Choosing not to purchase a home is the simplest way to avoid debt. Now, if you want to build equity and have the funds for a down payment, that is acceptable. Just be aware that you will continue to be in debt for some time to come, and some people would prefer to stay away from that financial stress. Number 3. Less financial responsibilities. Most people cannot afford to purchase a home, which is one of the reasons why they are unable to do so. Since purchasing a home will be expensive, you might be thinking about finding a way to take on less debt. Renting a home allows you to avoid several expenses, allowing you to save more of your hard-earned cash. The idea that buying is always more affordable in the long run then renting is one of the widespread misconceptions about renting versus owning. This isn't always the case though, as buying may end up costing you more in the long run than renting. To lessen your financial burden, you must weigh the two options and select the one that best suits your needs. The decision of whether home ownership will be more affordable in the long run than renting depends on several variables. For instance, whether or not the house you want to buy will appreciate over time depends on its location. You'll see in this video some situations where renting can save you money compared to buying and being a homeowner. You must regularly perform upkeep and repairs on your house. If you rent, you can avoid incurring this significant expense. Your landlord will be responsible for performing any necessary maintenance and repairs if something goes wrong. For instance, you can easily call a landlord to come to fix your roof if it is leaking. When you purchase a home, this is not the case. All repairs must be made by you, with your funds. Unfortunately, some repairs will be pricey, which will again reduce your ability to save and invest. When someone tells you that renting is a waste of money, don't be confused. The fact is that paying rent doesn't waste your money because you're using the space for shelter and comfort. In actuality, there are additional costs associated with home purchases. Therefore, the actual cost is higher than what you initially paid. Property taxes and insurance are just a few costs that tenants do not have to pay. Therefore, you must consider all the costs before deciding that purchasing a home is more financially advantageous than renting. Number 4. More flexibility. Renting gives you more flexibility than buying does. You are not tied down to one location and can move around with ease if your circumstances change. However, once you settle into your home, you no longer have the same level of flexibility. You've already paid a ton in one-time expenses, and if you wanted to sell it, you would have to pay even more. For this reason, it's generally recommended that you consider renting a home rather than buying one if you won't be residing in a place for more than 5 years. But what would initially compel you to move? You might be curious. You might get a new job offer in a different city, or you might have a romantic interest who lives abroad. Moving is simple when you rent a home, but it can be challenging when you own one. While a renter could give notice and vacate, a homeowner would have to list their property, wait for an acceptable offer, and then sell. Finding a willing buyer can be difficult at times, and you might have to sell it for less than the item's current market value to break even. Renting is the best choice if you want flexibility because it allows you to stay anywhere you want. Urban areas with significant social and infrastructure development are easily accessible. In such areas, buying a new house will be pricey, but renting will be more affordable. Additionally, renting gives you access to some necessities that would otherwise be out of your price range to install in your own home. These things include having use of the fitness center or pool at your rental home, and you can easily move to a new location if you decide to do so for any reason. Number 5. The opportunity cost of a down payment. The final benefit of renting over buying has to do with a cost that most people ignore. An opportunity cost is the price of a lost alternative, to put it simply. Furthermore, the money you spend renovating your home, paying your property tax, or putting down a down payment of tens of thousands of dollars on a house could have been put to better use. For instance, if you put 20% down and purchase a $400,000 home, you will have given the seller $80,000 of your hard-earned money. Your home will hold this money in the form of equity, and as the value of the property rises, the initial $80,000 investment will grow. Let's say the annual appreciation rate for homes in your neighborhood is 4%. Your initial investment would have increased by almost $40,000 to just under $120,000 after 10 years. Right, that sounds pretty good. What if, however, that sizable sum was invested while you were renting. The same $80,000 would be worth almost $160,000 or nearly double if you were able to achieve the historical stock market return of 7%. In this instance, what does the opportunity cost? It is, in fact, a difference of $40,000 between the market appreciation and the appreciation of the home. Not to mention that if you chose the rent rather than buy, you could have invested in additional costs like property taxes and homeowners insurance. If you ask me, I would have preferred to make the extra $40,000. But when it comes to opportunity cost, this is merely the tip of the iceberg. You see, it would have probably taken you many years to save up for that $80,000 down payment. You would have forfeited a significant investment opportunity if you had saved $1,300 per month for 5 years to accumulate that down payment. You see, if you had earned and saved during that time, you would have had $80,000 instead of over $93,000 if you had invested $300 per month for 5 years at a rate of 7%. Your time, however, represents the final opportunity cost that almost everyone overlooks. Your time has value, and you typically have a lot of obligations when you own a home as opposed to renting. For instance, as a homeowner, you must maintain the property, handle appliance problems, and conduct routine home inspections. But as a tenant, you are essentially exempt from all of these obligations. All you have to worry about is making on-time rent payments and maintaining a clean living space. Your apartment becomes a very hands-off responsibility. Instead of doing tedious home maintenance tasks that will take the time you will never get back, you can work more or enjoy your free time with all this extra time. As a result, even though owning a home is very popular, there is a solid case to be made for renting instead. And that's it for this video. Before you go, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you next time.